I look at this and I just shake my head like this. I'm sorry. I know other people would be actually very happy about how the show was. But I'm looking at this from a long-term perspective. The WWE is not doing well. And instead of using their intelligence and booking the show properly, they're not. They're not building anything for Survivor Series. They could have built it up from here. Nope. They could have built it up last week going into Survivor Series. Nope. They're doing it so short just to get a shock and awe. It's a waste. I'll explain why. First thing I'm going to talk about is Enzo Amore. The middle of the show. The guy was closing the show and people were interested in the product again. No matter how brief it was, they were interested. People cared about it. I cared about Rick Swann. I cared about Jack Gallagher's. I cared about Olandar. I cared about, Cedric Alexander. When they were basically put in a situation where they couldn't do nothing out of their frustration. I was hoping they dragged this into Survivor Series to make this special. Nope. They ended with Kalisto. I'm not against Kalisto. I'm not. But why do I care about 205 Live now that Kalisto has a title and Enzo Amore does not? And look at this segment. Kalisto talks with Enzo. Now Enzo's got friends. They beat the crap out of Kalisto. They beat the crap out of his friend. Why do I care? It was more fun and entertaining when he was calling everyone a schmuck. When he was basically belittling everybody and everybody had to follow his way. Yeah. I cared then. Now this is just like it was in 205 Live normally. They've gone right back to square one. Why do I care? I don't. I don't care. What a waste. Here's another thing. That's a waste and that makes no sense. And I'm only showing what's going to happen when it comes to TLC. You see them right there. Alicia Fox versus the boss, Sasha. Why have they been facing each other on and off most of the time? I don't know if they actually are friends or they just been putting them together because they really are actually annoyed with each other. They don't like each other. Alicia made Sasha's face bleed. I think she made her nose bleed or she made her lip bleed or whatever. Then they had to fight in the back. And now they're going to have a kickoff show match. How the mighty has fallen. Sasha Banks had went from being here headlining Hell in a Cell last year to working with Alicia Fox here. What a waste. This is what happens when, one, you don't have enough women, and two, you overexpose women that you know have some ability that can actually do something. And then three, don't book them at all. Now, the woman that I am happy to see, and I'm alright with the booking, is Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss. I don't really care about the match. I do care about this. You got two good women in a Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. Why? Because they're actually booking them decently well. I'm not even saying they're booking them well. Decently well. That's barely anything. Barely booking them properly. But you can say this. Because Asuka will be coming in 1 week. Seeing a Asuka versus either Alexa Bliss or Asuka versus a Mickie James would be interesting. As long as it's understood that Asuka stays away from the title. If Asuka gets the title by Survivor Series, this is a stupid joke. Asuka needs to wait until next year to get a real payout. I know that means you have to go through what few women you have. But still, Asuka cannot get the title within a month or so. Barely 2 months. And she gets a title. It's a waste. You can't rush her. Because she will become irrelevant very quickly. That's just me. You have the segment with Elias and the nerd. Well, nerds. What did I just see? It was stupid. They didn't make it better. Elias does not need anyone helping him. He just sounded terrible with them. But I'm glad to see an Elias segment. But then you had the match afterward. When you got Titus, you got Apollo, and then you have Jason Jordan, who clearly has dropped from grace. What are they doing with Jason Jordan? If they kept him losing, then you could say, well, guess what? He continued loses. His dad can't stand it anymore. And when he hit rock bottom, then his dad does something. No, he wins. Why do you care? They have dropped this segment with Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan, as far as I can tell. It's like they have no idea what they're doing. What was the point of doing this thing if you weren't going to go all the way with it and do something substantial with it? Now, maybe I could be wrong, and maybe by Survivor Series and beyond that, into Royal Rumble, they may turn it around and may make something out of it. Maybe they're putting it down a bit and then coming back. I could be wrong. But as far as it looks, they don't care anymore. That's just me. You have the Shield. I'm going to end it here with the Shield parts, and then I'm done. Look, seeing the Shield is a waste. They could have waited until Survivor Series, or bare minimum TLC itself, to actually bring them together and then have the hands. You should have waited 2 weeks before TLC, or better yet, before Survivor Series, to bring them back together. Have Roman Reigns still be at odds with Seth Rollins, even though Dean Ambrose is in Seth's corner now. See that they still have to make them some type of trust, because Roman Reigns still doesn't trust Seth Rollins at all, even though he has made up with Dean, who says he had to make up with Roman Reigns. And then you see them in the beginning of the show, coming out after Kurt Angle has his moment in the original Shield garb. Yeah, everyone cheated it. I'm botching here. You know why? They come out in the same clothes they had 5 years ago. What does that mean? What did I tell you all? They all failed. If they got to go back to being exactly as they were 5 years ago, when it was 2012, when the Shield just appeared, that shows you they failed. And it doesn't make a difference that they're trying to get Roman Reigns over, which to a certain extent, when you saw the match, it is working to a very minuscule amount. It's still a hard road to convince everybody there to actually cheer for him. There were some people that did cheer during the steel cage match. I'm not going to say it wasn't possible. They were cheering. Then that segment just before the end, which, what? I will get to in a minute. What? What? Calm down. I'm just saying it in disrespect. The segment before what happened at the end was a waste. What was the point of barring them? They needed to get penalized for it. And they're not going to be penalized by TLC. We noticed it was stupid. That's just me. But then you have the end of the show. The fifth member of The Miz and The Bar and the Braun Strowman is Kane. Kane! Are you serious? Now, I know a lot of people say, well, it makes perfect sense. Look what happened in WrestleMania. He retired his brother. It would make some sense if there was no Miz connected to it. If this wasn't about Miz, it wasn't about The Bar, it wasn't about Braun Strowman trying to take on the Shield, then you could say that Kane coming out would make sense. Kane coming to get revenge for his brother would make sense if it was near Survivor Series. Because you could say, hey, do this near Survivor Series. When there's something special that's going to happen at Survivor Series, have Kane come out, because that's when pretty much The Undertaker debuted. It would make better sense than here. This wasn't about The Undertaker. This wasn't about getting revenge for his brother. This was just a big waste. And then you see Braun Strowman by the side of Kane, which makes you think the New Brothers of Destruction. In fact, that would make the best sense. Have Kane come out and destroy Roman Reigns with Braun Strowman there. They both stare at each other like there's something between them, some type of power. And then you have Kane go to the knees of Braun Strowman saying that you are my new brother. That would make more sense. That would make a good Survivor Series twist. But guess what? You'll never get that. I lost my brother to this guy. So now you have destroyed this guy. You're my new brother. I think that would have made better sense than this. I just thought this show really wasn't very good. And going into TLC, I have zero interest. Zero. And I should have interest in this pay-per-view. And I don't have interest in this pay-per-view. I take that back. Except for Mickie James, Alexa Bliss. I'm hoping Mickie wins. I do care. But as it stands, other than that, I don't care about this pay-per-view. It's just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace. Watch for my SmackDown review.